everybody, it's Emerald Man 1994 here, and welcome to my Pokemon Black and White Super Update, Part 2. And before I talked about a lot of new features and new things and just tons of stuff, well, I'm going to keep on going with my Super Update, Part 2. Now, as I said before, the Ishu region, in Pokemon Black and White, you will not see a single Hoenn, Sinnoh, Kanto, or Johto Pokemon until you beat the game. What does that mean? There's going to have to be a crap load of Ishu region Pokemon. There's going to have to be well over 100. And it'd be cool if they put over 150. That would make this game offering more Pokemon than any other game. The game that offered the most was Pokemon Blue, or the Pokemon Blue region. Pokemon Blue, the Kanto region. Okay, so some more details. In the game, I believe if I've been reading all this stuff right, the enemies are Team Plasma. So that's really cool to know. It's kind of weird. Why would they be called Plasma? Hopefully maybe it has something to do with like the game and the story plot. They might give some of the stuff away. But anyways, their name's Team Plasma. Okay, so this game has this really confusing feature called the Dream World. It's kind of confusing, but it's really cool at the same time. So the Dream World is a new aspect of the game. It is part of a website called the Pokemon Global Link. The Dream World is accessed when you go to bed in a house in, it says Sanyu City, probably going to be a different name. And from here, you use the Dream Smoke obtained from a person, and you sync your game to the Pokemon Global Link account. Now, there are many things you can do in there, but in the Dream World, you can encounter a variety of Pokemon. These are Pokemon that are not typically found in the Ishu region. So they're probably going to be mostly Kanto, Hoenn, Johto, and Sinnoh Pokemon. Now, these Pokemon, once you befriended them, you can find them in the Ishu region. In this area, you'll be able to capture them with great ease. So many of the Pokemon in the Dream World have abilities that Pokemon you transfer over from Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver don't usually have. So you might get a Vaporeon who has, generally has this same, every single Vaporeon has this ability. Well, now you get a Vaporeon from there, and it'll have the ability called Hydration. So it's definitely going to add some pizzazz to the game. You'd be like, oh, I know Honchkro's ability is Levitate, so I'll never use Earthquake. But in reality, that's not their ability, and they have some other ability, and no one will ever use Earthquake on them thinking that that's their ability. So it's really cool. No one will ever use Ground Attacks, so you can use that to your advantage, but it also makes it a little more confusing for your opponents. For you, battling your opponents, you're like, so can I use a ground attack on him? I don't know. It's what you really have to think about. And if you use Flamethrower on a Houndoom, does he still have the Flash Fire as an ability? I don't know. Nobody really knows. And so it's going to be really a toss-up for all this stuff. Did they catch it in the Dream World? Yes or no? So it's really cool. So I guess you can befriend Pokemons, and once you're their friend, then you can find them in the Ishu region. So I'm guessing Dream World is unlocked once you beat the game, because they said you can't catch any other Pokemon until you beat the game. You can also grow berries. In the region of Ishu, berries do not grow. The only way to get berries is to grow them in the Dream World. Growing is done the same way as all the other previous games. Then once the berries have grown, you can have the ability to send them back to your game. Okay, items. In addition to berries, you also have the ability to find and collect items through the various games in the Dream World. So basically, you'll find some shelves in the Dream World where you can place items to trade with your friends. Now, at any point in the game, you can resync and then go to a specific area in Ishu to collect the items which you have sent over. So, the items you have in the dream world, you can bring them back to the Isha region. Or, when they're in the dream world, you can trade them with friends. So now, before, the only way to trade items before was to attach an item to a Pokemon, trade them, they take the item off, then they trade the Pokemon back. Now we can just say, okay, I'll trade you an Ultra Ball for a Super Ball. Okay. I'll trade you a Master Ball for a rare candy. Bad deal, I know, but still, you could do it. You could have some kind of chump friend who's dumb, or some 3-year-old person who owns a DS, and you're like, hey, that Master Ball is really bad. I'll trade it to you for a Pokeball. They're like, oh, yay! And there you go, you got yourself an awesome trade. There's also house decoration, which is one of the parts in the dream world that you have a house. The house is on a floating island, and you have the ability to decorate it in whatever manner you please using the decorations. In addition to decorating them, you can also link up to the dream world and link to your other friend's dream world or their house, and your Pokemon can play with each other. Now, this connection is required to allow your friends access to put items on the shelves. So basically you have this house, and to me this house reminds me a lot of the secret base. So basically this is your secret base, you can decorate it. But now your Pokemon you have outside, you can have them play with each other. So it's kind of like going to the more casual way, but this dream world sounds pretty cool. That's all the known features in the dream world, but it sounds really, really awesome. Okay, here's some more features in the game. In the game, you're going to be really surprised about this. It's reminding me of Animal Crossing. The game uses the internal clock. Pokemon Black and White uses the internal clock. So now, when it's summertime, it's summertime. It looks summery. When it's wintertime, it's wintertime. It looks wintry. When it's springtime, it's springtime. And it looks springily. And get this. Just like Animal Crossing, when some bugs come out at certain times of the year, well, certain Pokemon come out at certain times of the year. So that's gonna be pretty crazy. So now I'll be like, we get this game in what? Probably get it in spring 2011. You'll have to wait a whole year to get it to catch the winter Pokemon. Sure, it stinks, but, whatever. But it's cool, because it adds a new way to the game. But there's also some stuff. The seasons have different effects on the games. As you can see, the way the game looks, and the way the towns look and the grass looks, it looks different. And your character changes clothes depending on the weather. So if it's raining, I guess somehow they'll slip into a raincoat. And a whole bunch of other things. Also, whenever it is winter, there's some places you can only access during certain seasons. Because in one city, there is this really high ledge, and you can never get to it. But whenever it's wintry, there's a giant snow mound, and you can finally get up there. So it's really, really cool. And also before I said that you can only catch Pokemon during certain seasons. Well, that may be true, but there's also, that possibly could be true. We're not sure about that. But one thing we are sure about is, well, this whole thing is a little, confusing, but here's one thing we are sure about. A summer Pokemon there might be Pokemon that are more common in the summer, but they're rare in the winter. So you might not necessarily have to wait a whole year. Now, there might be for a few select amount of Pokemon, but for most of them, it's rare in 1 or 2 seasons, and very in common or uncommon in the other seasons. Now, there's a Pokemon named Shiki Jika, I guess. And this Pokemon has different forms per season. So it's really cool, really, really cool. I see this. Not only do the seasons have an effect on Shiki-Jiki, have an effect on a few other Pokemon, but we're not exactly sure which Pokemon yet, but we'll tell you it does have abilities on other Pokemon. Now here's some of the Wi-Fi features where it got really upgraded. The GTS makes a return, thank goodness. Within Black and White, though, it makes a return in black and white. However, rather than just being in the one big city like they've always been, it's in every single city. Huh? Well, it's in every single Pokemon Center. So in every single Pokemon Center is the GTS. And I believe in every single Pokemon Center is also the Pokemart. It's a triple threat. It's pretty awesome. But in the global terminal, there is the random match. The random match feature allows players to battle with random players across the world without the need for friend codes or prior communication. There's also the GTS. GTS makes its return here as well. Not much is known about the system, but it's most likely it's going to have the same features as the GTS on the other systems, on other games. Now, as I said before, with Global Link, you can upload your save file to Nintendo servers. With this, you can go on their site and play games on their site, which will have effects on your game. One of the new features within Pokemon Black and White is the Pokemon Global Link. As I said before, you upload your save to the internet, and you go to a specific website in order to get features and Pokemon on your Black and White games. It's pretty cool. There's also the Livecaster. You can also activate the Livecaster feature, similar to how Diamond and Pearl brought you voice chat. Here, you can have video chat with another friend over Wi-Fi connection. With this, as well as video chatting, you can also doodle and use stamps on the image of your friends. So basically, I believe you get video chat and voice chat. If you don't have a DSi or 3DS, you'll have to sadly have just voice chat. But it's really cool. I think that's really awesome, if you guys ask me. So video chat? Never before have we ever seen video chat. Now, I'm sure during this video you should see a picture of the video chat, if you haven't already. And you should be really impressed, because 4 people can video chat at once. It's gonna be awesome. Wow, Nintendo's never done this before on anything. So I'm really excited we get video chat. Video chat, uploading your save to a website, GTS, battling random matches. This game has a lot of features. It's jam-packed. Now you may be wondering, I buy Pokemon Black and White, but I have tons of really cool Pokemon on Pokemon Platinum, on Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Can I get them over? The answer is, yes you can. It requires 2 DSs, but as all trades generally do. Here's what you do. There's this thing called the PokeShifter. It allows you to transfer over Pokemon from previous generations. This is done through the PokeShifter feature. Now there's a certain spot in the Isha region. There's a building similar to Pal Park, where you connect to past Pokemon games. To do this, you need 2 DSs, one with Black and White, and the other one with the Pokemon DS game. You choose. Then you connect, and you see an option in the 4th generation games or the other DS games. You'll see an option to allow you to connect. Like Pal Park, you send over 6 Pokemon at a time from your boxes. But this time you don't need to find it in the grass. In order to get your Pokemon, you play a mini game. How cool is that? Well, that's been all the features. Pokemon Black and White is jam-packed. Make sure you get it. I really hope you enjoyed my video. Pokemon Black and White Super Update. Well, that about wraps it up. Please rate, comment, share, and subscribe. It only takes a few clicks. And I will see you guys later. And until then, this is Emerald Man 1994 signing off.